Ya, por favor.
Pero yo comí el tamal con arvejas. Y ella no comió nada de arvejas, le dio el copito.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing?
Hi, teacher.
Good afternoon, teacher.
Hello, hello.
Hi, teacher.
Hello, how are you doing? Are you doing okay?
Yes, teacher.
All right, good.
Yes, teacher.
Well, as you might remember, last class we were speaking about phrasal verbs, right? We were speaking about phrasal verbs. And I wanted to know, do you remember any examples of phrasal verbs?
Turn on, turn up, get out.
Great, excellent. That's right. Very good, very good. So what I'd like you to do today, with that in mind, keeping that in mind, is watch a video that I think is going to help you remember a little bit better the usage of phrasal verbs, because sometimes they have to be learned pretty much like new vocabulary, just by knowing the particle of the verb and the base form of the verb, not the base form but the base verb. Sometimes it is not enough to fully understand what the verb means, but watching this video I think might help you understand them and therefore remember them a little bit better, because it is very, very common that in English we use this, even though sometimes we have the words that would be like a perfect translation for those. For example, how do you say buscar in English?
Search.
Yeah, that's right, exactly, search.
Looking for.
Exactly. Search is good, but look for is much more common, is much more commonly used, right? When you say search, it's usually very specific, like for example, for an internet search. Or if the police is looking for a lost person, for example, that would be a search, right? But if you use it on a daily basis, si lo usamos cotidianamente for very trivial things, like for example, estoy buscando mis llaves. Sería muy poco frecuente en inglés decir I'm searching. Sino en ese caso diríamos I'm looking for my keys. That would be the typical thing to do. Okay, so please let's take a look at this video. All right, I'll share it in a moment. Just a second here. And there we go. Okay. Can you see it? Yeah. All right. Let's watch it. Okay. Please pay attention to it. Okay. It's a relatively long video. It's 20 minutes, but I think it's very useful. Okay. So please, let's take a look at it. Okay.
Have a look at this painting by the Ukrainian artist Oleg Shuplyak. What do you see? Do you see the face of a man? Or do you see somebody painting a cottage? And which one is correct? Or are both correct? It depends on your perspective. In linguistics, the idea that one word can have multiple meanings is called polysemy. And understanding and accepting that words can have multiple meanings and all of those meanings are correct depending on your perspective is the key to understanding English phrasal verbs. And also chocolate biscuits. Hello and welcome to Kangaroo English. I'm Christian, and today I am going to show you how to really understand and learn English phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are one of the most frustrating and difficult things in the English language. Their meanings seem completely arbitrary and random. And a traditional teaching method would tell you that you have to look at this phrasal verb, which means this, and memorize it, and repeat, and repeat, and repeat. But what if I told you that actually English phrasal verbs do have a deeper logic, a deeper meaning? And once you understand this logic behind phrasal verbs, then learning them becomes really easy. To help us, we need cognitive linguistics. Cognitive linguistics is different from other studies of language because it tells us that the way that the human mind works shapes language. The way that we see and experience the world has a direct effect on the language that we use. And studying phrasal verbs using cognitive linguistics has significant benefits. Before we talk specifics, there are two very important concepts to understand. The first one is perspective. We can view events and situations in life from different perspectives. For example, right now I am at a desk, in front of a camera, on a chair, in a school, on the planet Earth. My situation hasn't changed, but the perspective from which you view my situation is different, and this affects the language we use. The second concept is space. Space, spatial awareness, and how we move through space is essential to the human experience. We can move through space on a trajectory, or we can be static in space, or we can be oriented in space. So now you understand that phrasal verbs are not random and illogical, and you also understand the concepts of perspective and space. Now we can begin to look at the deeper meaning behind phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs consist of a verb and one or more particles. Now, obviously, the verb part is important, but really the most important part of phrasal verbs is the particles. The particles can alter and change the meaning of the verb, and understanding the deeper meaning of these particles is the key to understanding and learning phrasal verbs. Now, to understand the particles, we need a special tool. Something really powerful and unique. Chocolate biscuits.
Okay. All right, everybody. So, from what we've seen so far, there are two parts of a verb, right? Of a phrasal verbs. Sometimes there are three as well, but usually when you have a two-part phrasal verb, there is the base verb, the verb itself, and there is also the particle, okay? There is the particle. So let me show you a few examples here, okay? I'm gonna turn on your microphones again. All right, so, for example, let's take a look at some of these verbs that we began with, okay? Let's take a look at some of these verbs that we began with. Turn on, turn off, put on, take off, take out, get up, get in, sorry?
Wake up.
Wake up. Very good. Look for, sorry, look for, find out. All of these are phrasal verbs, right? All of these are phrasal verbs. But keep in mind that the verb itself, it's one part of the phrasal verb, and the other part is called the particle. Okay? The other part is called the particle. For example, in turn on, what is the particle in turn on?
Turn.
Actually, that is the verb. What is the particle?
On.
On is the particle. That's right. So these that I'm going to signal in blue, these are the particles, okay? Okay, so these are the particles. Now, question. What do these, let's write another one as well. Let me see, let's put look after. Do you know what is the meaning of look after? Literalmente sería como decir mirar después, pero en realidad tiene otro significado, ¿no? So, do you know what is the meaning of look after? Any idea? No? Well, look after means cuidar algo, ¿sí? So, look for, noten la diferencia, ¿no? ¿Qué significa solamente look? What is the meaning of look?
Mirar.
Mirar. That's right. That's right. Sorry. Hubo un problemita y no se estaba compartiendo. Sorry. Let me show you better this. Okay. Okay. There we go. So we have some of these examples. So for example, in turn on, the particle is on. Turn off, all of the particles I'm putting in blue. Okay, good. So in these cases, all of the words that we are checking in blue are the particles. And let's remember something. What is turn? Only turn, not turn on. What is the meaning of turn?
Girar.
Girar, virar, dar la vuelta. That's right, very good. Now, what is the meaning of turn on?
Encender.
Encender. That's right, very good, very good. Ahora noten, esto les puede ayudar a recordar. En muchos, sobre todo, qué sé yo, en televisiones antiguas y cosas por el estilo, todavía hay aparatos que son así, pero ustedes tienen que girar un botón o un switch, ¿no es cierto? Para que se encienda, ¿no es cierto? Turn on, turn off, ¿sí? Now, a question. What kind of words are these? What kind of words? On, off, out, up, in, after, even. What kind of words are these? Not the phrasal verb, only the particle. What kind of word is off, for example? What kind of word is on? Any idea? No? Well, these are prepositions, okay? So, all of these particles are prepositions, okay? What are prepositions? They are words that indicate the relation between two things, or people, or whatever, okay? Like, for example, on. What is the meaning of on? Solamente on. Literalmente, si yo, por ejemplo, digo, the book is on the table, what is the meaning of that?
Encima.
Encima, en, ¿no es cierto? En el sentido de encima, pero sí, ¿no es cierto? Right? Remember that. Por ejemplo, si yo tengo aquí si ustedes tienen su computadora sobre la mesa este momento, ustedes dirían the computer, no the computer is in the table, para decir la computadora está en la mesa. Dirían the computer is on the table, ¿sí? No pueden decir in. Se puede traducir como en, es lo típico, pero sí, entendido como dijeron ustedes, como encima, ¿sí? That's right. Si digo the computer is in the table, significaría que de alguna manera la computadora está como incrustada en la mesa o metida en la mesa, tal vez porque la mesa tiene cajones o algo por el estilo, ¿no es cierto? Ahora, in, ¿qué significa in? En, y esto sí es en también, como pero, que es dentro o adentro, ¿no es cierto? That's right, very good. What is for? What is the meaning of for?
Para.
That's right. For example, if I say, this present is for you, este regalo es para ti. ¿Cuál es la relación entre tú y el regalo? Que el regalo es para ti, que está dirigido a ti. Si yo digo, the computer is on the table, ¿cuál es la relación entre la computadora y la mesa? What's the relation between the computer and the table? the position, right? That the computer is on the table, que la computadora está sobre la mesa, en la mesa, encima de la mesa. That's right, very good. So those are prepositions, right? And we also have many others, from, after, también preposiciones de tiempo, ¿no? Antes, después, after, before, between. Recuerdan que veíamos un poco estas preposiciones cuando estábamos viendo los usos de los gerundios. Remember that we were checking these prepositions? From, after, before, between, on, off, in, out. What is the meaning of out?
Fuera.
Fuera. That's right. Correct. Very good.
Fuera.
Yes. For, and many others. Between. What is the meaning of between?
Entre.
That's right. How do you say detrás, atrás?
Behind.
Behind.
Perfect. That's right. So all of these are prepositions, and there are many more. About. So what is the meaning of about?
Acerca.
Cerca.
Acerca de, ¿no es cierto? Por ejemplo, yeah, this book is about chemistry. Este libro es acerca de química. That's right. Or they wrote an article about you. Escribieron un artículo acerca de ti, sobre ti, ¿no es cierto? All right, very good. So those are prepositions. Usually, not always, but usually the word that works as a particle is a preposition. Usualmente la palabra que funciona como partícula es una preposición. All right? Okay, good. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And now let's continue watching the video. Okay? Show you. All right. Okay, so let's go back to this a little bit. Let's rewind it, and now.
Is the particles. The particles can alter and change the meaning of the verb. And understanding the deeper meaning of these particles is the key to understanding and learning phrasal verbs. Now, to understand the particles, we need a special tool, something really powerful and unique. Chocolate biscuits. First, let's look at the particle up. The principal meaning of up is a movement through space in this direction. The biscuit is moving up. And this helps us to understand the basic verb and preposition combinations, like, for example, to pick up a biscuit, or the biscuit goes up the mountain.
Okay, so yeah, what he mentioned there. Another very typical preposition that we use for phrasal verbs is up. Just the word pick, it means elegir, seleccionar algo. For example, if I tell you, or if I say, what book are you going to read? I don't know. So pick one, elige uno. But if I say pick up, probablemente ya conocen esto es recoger algo. So for example, you drop something on the floor. ¿Se acuerdan? Drop, dejar caer. You drop something on the floor. Dejan caer algo al suelo, and then you pick it up. Y luego lo recogen. Entonces, ahora, no olviden, up significa arriba. Si yo estoy recogiendo algo, ¿qué estoy haciendo? Pues lo estoy tomando para que suba, ¿no es cierto? Entonces, por eso, solamente pick es elegir, escoger, pero pick up es recoger. ¿Sí? Okay, let's continue watching.
But this movement through space in this direction also helps us to understand the more abstract verbs which contain up. Here on my plate I have one biscuit. As I start to add biscuits, as I have a greater quantity of biscuits, you can see that the stack moves in this direction, up. So phrasal verbs which contain up can talk about a greater quantity of something. So when I ask you to speak up, I'm asking you to increase the level of your voice. But also, 5 biscuits is better than 1 biscuit. So up can also indicate that something is improving, something is better than before. So if I go out to a special occasion, maybe I will dress up. I will dress up in improved, better clothes. Up can also talk about orientation in space. Look at this packet of biscuits. Would you say that it's up? No, because this end is open, so this is the top, where you can access the biscuits. So now the packet of biscuits is up. It's in the correct orientation. It's ready for action. It is prepared. And from this idea, we get the phrasal verbs such as set up a business, to put your business in the correct orientation, to be prepared. Or before you exercise, you warm up. You prepare your body for action. Now, a question for you. How many biscuits do I have on this plate? You don't know? Well, it's because you can't see them. Let me bring them up. Now you can see I have 3 biscuits. When I move something up, I bring it into your vision. Because remember, the human experience, how we experience the world, affects our language. So when we bring something up, we make it visible. And now we can understand phrasal verbs like to go up to somebody at a party. So when you come closer to them, they can see you. And also, when something is in our vision, we can start to know it, to understand it. So coming up, seeing something, is a synonym for understanding. And this helps us to understand phrasal verbs like look up a word in the dictionary, or read up about the English language. Now imagine that this is the last biscuit in the packet, and you want to share it with your friend. You need to break it. You need to break it up. Do you see, when we break something, when we destroy it, we have this natural upward direction.
Okay, so that verb was interesting. So he's mentioned many uses of up, like for example, pick up. Claro, como up es arriba, pues lo recogería. Pero Cos también nos habla de algunos verbos compuestos más abstractos, como look up. Bring up, pongamos. Bring, ustedes saben, es traer, ¿no es cierto? Bring up es un verbo que se usa mucho cuando quiero sacar a colación algo, traer algo a una conversación, ¿sí? Entonces, al decir yo, he brought up the subject, él es como decir, él trajo a colación, sacó a colación ese tema. Es porque lo que nos mencionaba él con las galletas, ¿no? Dicho sea de paso, pequeña cosa, notarán que él no está diciendo cookies, sino biscuits. It's because he is British, okay? He's British, he's not American. So in Britain, in England and everything, they call cookies biscuits. Okay, going back to this. Entonces, bring, traer, pero bring up es sacar a colación, traer algo. Y como vieron ustedes, él me decía, how many cookies do I have here? Y no podíamos ver, we couldn't see how many biscuits, sorry. But he then brought, el pasado de bring, he brought them up. Le subió. Pero como digo, hablando más abstractamente, si en una conversación yo quiero decir sacar un tema a colación, traer un tema a la mesa, si quieren, decimos así en español también, ¿no? En inglés diría bring up, ¿sí? Otro verbo que él mencionó, otro verbo interesante es look up. Look up. Look, mirar, ¿no es cierto? Pero si yo digo look up, esto quiere decir investigar, averiguar algo, buscarlo en el internet, por ejemplo. I'm going to look up this word. No sé lo que significa, ¿no? Entonces, claro, que salga a la luz ese significado, por eso utilizamos ese up, porque es como que sube al nivel en el que ya no está oculto, ¿sí? Dress up es otro verbo que él mencionó, ¿sí? He mentioned dress up. Dress, ustedes saben que es vestirse. Dress up, como up es arriba, es como que he mejorado la calidad, ¿sí? Si yo solo me voy a vestir normalmente, I'm going to get dressed. Pero si yo digo dress up, es como que me voy a vestir elegante o algo para una ocasión especial, un matrimonio o alguna cuestión, entonces me pongo la ropa más elegante que tengo y digo I'll dress up. Ok, good. Ahora, este es interesante. Let me open your microphones a little bit. What is the meaning of break?
Romper.
Romper.
Yeah, that's right. Correct. But what is the meaning of break up?
Separar.
Yes, that's right. Correct. Correct.
Frizar.
Separar.
Sí, en realidad sí.
Separar.
Literalmente también le puedo entender como romper, ¿no es cierto? Y vieron ustedes cuando él rompió las galletas como haciendo el movimiento hacia arriba, pero sí, lo que dicen es correcto. Separar, ¿separar en qué sentido? Sobre todo cuando se separa una pareja, cuando se rompe una relación amorosa, yo suelo usar este término, break up, ¿sí? Por ejemplo, Jenny, voy a decirlo en pasado, ¿no? Para usar bien los tiempos, Jenny broke up with Mike. Jenny terminó con Mike. Jenny, y por ende rompió su corazón, ¿sí? Pero Jenny terminó con Mike. Jenny broke up with Mike. Entonces, break up. Ahora, break up también puede tener otros significados. Puede ser más literalmente romper algo. Pero, ¿por qué el up? Noten, al haberlo roto, al haberlo separado en dos partes, ¿cómo hizo él con la galleta? What did he do with the biscuit, right? Yes, so it was a movement towards the up part, right? Entonces fue un movimiento hacia arriba, ¿ok? So don't forget this one. So up es una de las preposiciones interesantes, además de las otras que hemos visto, ¿no es cierto? Right? Ahora, si up es una preposición que usamos, y if up is one of the prepositions that we use for phrasal verbs, what can be another preposition that we use for phrasal verbs? For example, what is the opposite of up?
Down.
Yes, exactly. And down is also a preposition. Okay? Down is also a preposition. So, and also a particle for phrasal verbs. Now, let's continue watching, okay?
Okay.
Just a second. Okay, there we go.
And so maybe phrasal verbs like look up a word in the dictionary or read up about the English language. Now imagine that this is the last biscuit in the packet and you want to share it with your friend. You need to break it. You need to break it up. Do you see when we break something, when we destroy it, we have this natural upward direction. And so maybe if you don't share your biscuit with your girlfriend, she will break up with you. And if she's really bad, maybe she will smash up your things. To understand the final meaning of up, it's really important to use your perspective. So here I have 4 biscuits on a plate. Now imagine that I eat them all. Now my body, my stomach is full. I am full up. So from one perspective, you could say that this vessel, this container is full, which helps you to understand phrasal verbs like to fill up. But if we look at this perspective, we can see that the biscuits are gone. The plate is empty. It's the opposite meaning, and that helps you to understand phrasal verbs like use up. The battery in my phone is completely used up. The next particle is down. The principal meaning of down is a movement through space in this direction. So, for example, the biscuit is moving down. And this helps us to understand basic phrasal verbs like to put down or to fall down. But what about the more abstract meanings? Here I have my plate of biscuits. As I begin to eat them, they go down inside my body. I eat them down. But also you can see that as I eat them, we have a movement in this direction. So phrasal verbs which contain down talk about a reducing quantity. For example, to calm down or to cut down the amount of cigarettes that you smoke. Down is inherently negative.
All right, so keep something in mind, right? When you say down, it usually means first a movement in that direction from the upper position to the lower position, right? But it also means a reduction, ¿ok? También indica una reducción cuando ustedes dicen down, ¿sí? Entonces, por ejemplo, for example, I'm going to share this screen. Ustedes saben que cut es cortar, pues obviamente, ¿no es cierto? Cut, perdón, cut. But if I say cut down, esto significa reducir, ¿sí? Y claro, es por el down, ¿no es cierto? Down es reducir algo, reducir disminuir la cantidad, cut down. Por ejemplo, I'm getting fat, so I'm going to cut down on sweets. Me estoy engordando, así que voy a reducir los dulces que como. I think I'm going to cut down on the amount of cigarettes that I smoke every day. Voy a reducir la cantidad de cigarrillos que fumo por día, right? There's people who smoke and there's people who smoke a lot, right? But they should cut down on it because it's not good, all right? So cut down, reducir, disminuir, all right? Cut down calories, reducir las calorías in your diet, okay? Good. Let's continue watching.
Remember that language reflects the human experience. If I had 4 biscuits before and now I only have 1 biscuit because the quantity has reduced down, then my situation is worse than before. It's a deteriorated situation. And that helps you to understand phrasal verbs like break down, when your car or your washing machine doesn't work anymore like it used to. Or when somebody disappoints you, they let you down. Now let's talk about on. On describes contact between 2 surfaces.
En este caso, lo que decían ustedes, on puede indicar el contacto entre dos estar encima, perdón, ¿sí? Lo que alguien me decía, on es encima. Por ejemplo, un vaso que está en la mesa, en inglés no diría the glass is in the table, sino the glass is on the table. Pero más que encima, lo que más indica el on, en términos más generales, es 2 objetos o 2 superficies, sobre todo, que están en contacto. Por ejemplo, si ustedes tienen un cuadro que está en la pared, you would say the picture is on the wall, all right? The picture is on the wall. Por más que sea vertical, ¿no es cierto? The poster, a poster, for example, the poster is on the wall also. Un pizarrón, the board is on the wall, ¿sí? 2 cosas que están en contacto una sobre la otra. Por eso también, cuando me pongo una prenda de vestir, cuando me pongo ropa, digo put on. I'll put on my jacket. Me voy a poner la chaqueta, la casaca, put on. All right? Let's continue listening.
So here, the biscuit is on the plate. We have contact between the biscuit and the plate. And this helps us to understand phrasal verbs like to put on clothes, because the clothes are in contact with our bodies. Or to hold on to something when our hands are in contact with another surface. Now let's look at on from another perspective. The biscuit is on the plate. But imagine that the plate disappeared. What would happen to the biscuit? It would fall. The plate is providing a type of support to hold the biscuit. So phrasal verbs which contain on also talk about support, like when you depend on somebody. Contact between two surfaces causes an effect. For example, if I sit on the biscuit will probably break. And this helps to understand why phrasal verbs containing on talk about effects. For example, to switch on the lights. Or if you are running in a race and I am cheering you on, come on, you can do it.
So that is interesting. That is interesting. Since on indicates contact between two things, ya que on indica el contacto entre dos cosas, también ese contacto puede tener un efecto, tener una reacción. Y por ende, en algunos verbos es eso a lo que vamos cuando utilizamos el on. Por ejemplo, el clásico turn on es encender, ¿sí? Porque ese es el efecto que ha habido por el contacto. All right?
I'm pushing you. Movement is essential to the human experience. Because humans cannot fly, whenever we move, we are always in contact with a surface. But we don't just move through physical space. We also move through time. So phrasal verbs which contain on can also talk about moving through time. For example, carry on working. Continue working through time into the future. And also, when I want you to think about something through time in the future, why don't you think on that idea, reflect on that idea? Now imagine that you are with your group of friends and there's only one biscuit left. You need to get your hand on the biscuit if you want it. This idea of capturing something, of attacking something, also appears in phrasal verbs with on. For example, bullies pick on people. The next particle is off. On talks about contact between two surfaces. But off is when we lose that contact. And that helps you to understand phrasal verbs like come off. I hope that this stain will come off my shirt.
Entonces, por ejemplo, bueno, según vemos, off, el opuesto de on en realidad, ¿no es cierto? Si on indica contacto, off indica que no hay contacto, que las cosas se separan, right? I hope this stain will come off. Ustedes saben que come es venir, pero si ustedes utilizan el verbo compuesto, el phrasal verb, come off, es salir. Salir no salir de un lugar, sino que una mancha, por ejemplo, salga, ¿sí? This stain won't come off, no va a salir, right? Porque estaban en contacto y ahora ya no van a estar en contacto si es que sale, ¿no es cierto? It comes off, all right?
Or to see off. When somebody goes on a long journey, you lose contact, you see them off. But also, this movement away, this distance,
Y bueno, antes de que él continúe, before he continues, also remember turn off, of course. Si turn on es encender, pues el opuesto, turn off, apagar. Es como que se pierde el contacto que había que hacía que la cosa funcionara, pues, ¿no es cierto? Pero ahora ya no, entonces off, turn off, para apagar.
could be physical, but also abstract. You can move away from a current condition. Imagine that you are in a very bad position in your life, but then your situation improves. You can say, I am better off. The distance from this original condition is growing. Now finally, let's switch perspective. So imagine that you are the plate, and this biscuit is trying to make contact with you. It's trying to get on you. But you are fighting back. You are keeping the biscuit off the plate. This helps you to understand phrasal verbs like cut off, where you are maintaining that distance. The next particle is in. To describe in, first we need to define a container. Now, the container...
A container, right? Un contenedor, pero note, en inglés británico, container, right?
could have very clear boundaries, like this cup, or the boundaries could be not so clear, like a group of people or a forest. The principal definition of in is when we have an external object moving or inside our container. And it could be completely inside the container, like this, or it could be sticking out of the top. And they are both valid definitions of in. And this helps us to understand basic phrasal verbs with in, like to stay inside your house because you don't want to go out tonight. Or if you have a form that you have to fill in, you are putting the information inside the boxes.
And not just for forms, this is something very typical for homeworks or for exams, right? Fill in the gaps, llenar los espacios. Solamente fill es llenar. No confundir con feel, con dos es, que eso es sentir, pues, ¿no es cierto? Pero fill, F-I-L-L, eso es llenar. Si yo digo fill in, ¿por qué ese in? Porque justamente pues estoy poniendo la información en esos espacios, en los espacios, ¿no? Right?
That are on the form. In a more abstract sense, our mind is also a type of container. We can put ideas and information here. And this helps you to understand phrasal verbs like to take in a story. In can also be used to talk about including or adding something.
In el caso que decía, take in es asimilar, ¿sí? Take in a story sería asimilar una historia, ¿no? Literalmente sería llevarla adentro, ¿no es cierto? Take in.
Here. And this helps you to understand phrasal verbs like to take in a story. In can also be used to talk about including or adding something. Imagine if I have one piece of biscuit inside my cup, and then I add another one. This biscuit is joining in. I added in another biscuit. Now, what if we look at these two pieces of biscuit from a different perspective? Imagine that you are inside the cup with these two biscuits, looking at them. They are inside, together. And this idea of being inside the container, joined, helps you to understand phrasal verbs like to keep in touch. The final particle we're going to study is out. And again, we have to define a container. So it could be a container with clear boundaries, like this cup, or something more abstract. And the principal definition of out is the idea that something is not in the container, not in situ, absent from the container. And this helps us to understand basic phrasal verbs like to go out. But if the container is more abstract, it helps us to understand phrasal verbs like to stretch out, where the container normally is my body in this sphere, and I'm stretching out of my container. Now, if all of the biscuits are out, then that means that there are no biscuits left. There is an absence of biscuits. And this helps you to understand phrasal verbs like sell out or run out. Now let's switch perspectives.
That is an interesting one. For example, if I say this, right? Run. You know, run, correr, ¿no es cierto? But if you say run out, claro, literalmente puede entenderse como correr afuera, ¿sí? Y sí se puede usar de esa manera. He ran out the window. Él corrió fuera por la ventana. Right? Pero también ran out significa agotarse. No agotarse de cansarse, sino cuando se termina una cosa. Bueno, claro, agotarse también es porque a uno se le agota la energía, se le termina la energía. Pero decir, por ejemplo, se me agotó la batería del celular, se me acabó la batería del celular, que es lo que más típicamente diríamos en nuestro medio, sería I ran out of battery. Or watch out, you're going to run out of gas. Ten cuidado, se te va a acabar la gasolina. Veo la aguja ya casi en la E de empty. I'm seeing at the pointer almost on the E of empty, right? And that means I'm going to run out of gasoline, run out of gas, or petrol, like the British say. Okay, so run out, terminarse, agotarse algo. We're running out of food. We need to get more shoppings from the shopping mall. Se nos está acabando la comida. Necesitamos ir de compras, ¿no es cierto? Right? So basically, that is the thing. Okay, let's continue watching.
Imagine that you are inside this empty cup. Go out. But if the container is more abstract, it helps us to understand phrasal verbs like to stretch out, where the container normally is my body in this sphere, and I'm stretching out of my container. Now, if all of the biscuits are out, then that means that there are no biscuits left. There is an absence of biscuits. And this helps you to understand phrasal verbs like sell out or run out. Now let's switch perspectives. Imagine that you are inside this empty cup, and this biscuit is trying to get in, but you are inside, blocking it, preventing it, keeping it out. Then this helps you to understand phrasal verbs like block out or cross out. Now, I want you to continue imagining that you are inside this cup, and out we have this biscuit. Can you see it from inside the cup? No. It is out of your vision, out of your knowledge. So, phrasal verbs that talk about out can also mean that there's something that you don't know, that you need to discover. Phrasal verbs, for example, like find out. Well, I hope that now you understand not only about phrasal verbs, but also about how we experience the world as humans. Language can teach us so much about who we are. It's powerful and incredible. If you would like to see any more videos about the English language, then don't forget to subscribe.
Okay, so as we've seen, these are some interesting ideas about how phrasal verbs work. Now, the problem is that, of course, understanding them in general terms can help us, but we still need memory. We still need some memorization. And memorization is not just about, you know, stacking yourselves up with lists of verbs, but it means to read a lot and to listen to a lot of audios in English, but keeping these things in mind is going to help you remember them in a much easier way, much more easily and much better. Now, let's go to your book for a bit. Let's go to your book for a bit. Okay, here we are. We are on this page, on page 16. And let's go to number 7, where it says word power. El poder de la palabra, ¿no? No se olvidaran eso. Cuando tienen dos palabras íntimamente vinculadas en inglés, el significado suele ir en el orden inverso al que va en español, ¿no es cierto? Word power no es palabra de poder, sino el poder de la palabra, ¿no es cierto? En español lo decimos al revés, ¿no? Igual que orange juice, jugo de naranja. En inglés dije primero orange, pero en español digo primero jugo, ¿no es cierto? All right, anyway, let's continue with this. So the first one we have is break up again, ¿no es cierto? Break up, que era romper, pero se refiere puede ser separar cosas, pero sobre todo suele referirse a la ruptura de una relación amorosa, ¿sí? It's usually that, ¿ok? Es a lo que más suele referirse. So, ahora, noten algo aquí. Notice something. Noten que el break está no como forma base, sino como participio. Y this is a participle. Y claro, el verbo puede ir en el tiempo que sea, en la forma que sea. The verb can be on any form that you need. Okay, the verb can be on any form that you need. For example, Polly has broken up with her boyfriend. Polly, ¿cómo tradujeran esta frase? Polly has broken up with her boyfriend.
La roto con su novio.
Sí.
La roto con su...
Sí, ese sería el sentido, ¿no? Ahora, si nos ponemos bastante literales, sería Polly ha terminado, ¿no es cierto? Es un presente perfecto, ¿sí? Por eso tengo un participio. Polly ha terminado con su novio. Ahora, noten, aquí le están señalándome 3 palabras. El break up, que ya habíamos visto que ese es el verbo compuesto en sí, pero en este tema tenemos 3-word phrasal verbs, y es porque aparte de esta partícula, con mucha frecuencia suele haber una palabra más, y esa frecuencia puede ser with, puede ser to, o pueden ser otras, ¿sí? All right?
¿Por qué, amiga? Si les doy dinero a las personas.
All right. So, tenemos un poco de ruido por ahí, entonces le silencié. All right, anyway, so, break up with, típicamente con with, terminar con, ¿sí? Lynn came up with a great idea for a new app for meeting people. Come up with es cuando a uno se le ocurre algo. ¿Se acuerdan ese app que es como que nos lleva algo a la vista, ¿no es cierto? Entonces, si se les ocurre algo, si se les ocurrió una excelente idea, if you had a great idea, si se les ocurrió una canción, si se les ocurrió un poema, si se les ocurrió un modelo de negocios, cualquier cosa, you come up with, ¿ok? Come up with. So, y aquí lo tenemos en pasado. Here we have it on the past. Lynn came up with a great idea for a new app for meeting people. A Lynn se le ocurrió una gran idea para una nueva app para conocer gente. All right, very good. Now, my brother is looking forward to getting married. He really loves his fiancée. Fiancée es la novia, la prometida, por así decirlo. Soga al cuello, ¿sí? Girlfriend, boyfriend es un poco más informal. Fiancé son los cuando ya están por casarse. Anyway, entonces, what is look? Ustedes saben es mirar, pero ¿qué significa look forward to? Esto significa anhelar, ¿sí? Ansiar algo, ver con anhelo algo, ¿sí? Por ejemplo, ya tengo muchas ganas de que ya se termine la clase, tienen ustedes. Entonces, podrían decir, I'm looking forward to the class to end, ¿ok? Entonces, I'm looking forward to finishing the class, perdón, sería la estructura correcta, ¿sí? O tienen muchas ganas de ya salir de vacaciones. I'm looking forward to going on a trip. Tengo muchas ganas de ir de viaje, anhelo ir de viaje, ¿sí? Entonces, para eso me sirve este look forward to. Forward significa, por cierto, adelante, ¿sí? Entonces, claro, es algo que está en mi destino y que lo anhelo, look forward to. La siguiente, number 4, y bueno, aquí está como gerundio, this is a gerund because this is in present continuous. Recuerden, el tiempo puede ser el que sea que ustedes necesiten, pero tienen que saberse los tiempos. All right, now, I can't keep up with all the new technology. What is keep up with? Ustedes saben, keep muchos le traducen como guardar. Sí puede ser, pero keep es guardar más en el sentido de guardar algo para toda la vida, de tenerlo reservado. En términos más generales, keep es mantener. ¿Ok? Ahora, keep up with, ¿qué significa? Tolerar, perdón, disculpen, es mantenerse a la par de algo, ¿sí? Mantenerse a la par de alguna cosa. I can't keep up with all the new technology, no me puedo mantener a la par de toda la nueva tecnología. O ustedes, qué sé yo, están en una carrera, están trotando y uno de ustedes se está quedando muy atrás y diría, I can't keep up with everybody else, no me puedo mantener a la par de los demás. All right, very good. Now, number 5, Luisa doesn't get along with her roommate. ¿Qué significa esto de get? No confundir con alone, que es con E, sino along, con G. Get along with es llevarse bien con. Entonces, Luisa no se lleva bien con su compañero o compañero de cuarto, ¿no? They argue over every little thing. Pelean por cada cosita. All right? Entonces, get along with. Les voy a mandar esto, ¿no? Les voy a mandar los significados para que los tengan y para una pequeña tarea que vamos a tener, ¿sí? Now, my doctor says I'm overweight. I should cut down on sweets. Lo que les decía hace un momento durante el video, ¿no? Mi doctor dice que tengo sobrepeso, debería reducir, cut down on, reducir los dulces. Noten aquí la tercera palabra es on, ¿no? Number 7, I can't put up with the noise on my street. I'll have to move. No puedo put up with, esto es tolerar. Put up también podría ser poner arriba, ¿no es cierto? Pero tiene este otro significado, este verbo compuesto. No puedo tolerar el ruido en mi calle. Tendré que mudarme. I'll have to put up with the noise on my street. Okay, I can't put up with the noise on my street. También puede ser tolerar a alguien. I can't put up with you. No te aguanto, no te tolero. Okay, very good. And we are about to finish. I don't like to take care of my own finances. Ustedes posiblemente entienden el take care como cuidar, y sí puede ser, pero también es encargarse de algo, ¿sí? I don't like to take care of my own finances. No me gusta encargarme de mis propias finanzas. I have an accountant manage my money. Yo hago que un contador administre mi dinero, ¿no es cierto? Entonces, estos significados quisiera que se los sepan bien y les voy a mandar los significados también, les voy a escribir un pequeño texto este momento mismo con las traducciones. Van a tener un deber súper sencillo. You're going to have a very, very simple homework. Este sí es ultra sencillo. Simplemente escribir una oración con cada uno de estos verbos compuestos que tienen en esta parte, all right? You're just going to write a sentence with each one of these verbs, considering the meaning that I give you, y los vamos a subir al campus. We're going to put them on the virtual campus. Igual les voy a indicar en dónde hacerlo. Les voy a mandar las instrucciones. All right? And that would be it for today. I'm sorry, I turned on your microphones again. Les activé los micrófonos nuevamente ahora. Your microphones are on. So, any questions about this?
No.
No, teacher.
No, it's all clear?
Okay.
No, teacher.
All right, very good, very good. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'll
Vale.
see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Thank you, teacher. Bye, teacher. See you
Goodbye,
tomorrow.
everybody. See you. See you. Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, teacher.
Goodbye. See you.